Focus. Focus up. I'm talking to you, Gail, out in Southern California. Keep up the good fight. Keep traveling and get Depsers out there with you. Welcome to episode 31 of the Rubio Method. My name is Chris Rubio, along with Lord Nicholas Monahan. We have a great show for you today. On today's show, we're going to be talking about Connect 4, our pet peeves of our wives, remembering names, Monahan and I giving birth, the movie Tombstone, being my roommate, the Miracle League of Frisco, the NFL and concussions, and starting over. All of that and much more on the 31st episode of the Rubio Method. Christian, I'm out. Focus up. I'm talking to you, Winter Jim. Keep up the good fight, and it's almost summertime, so summertime Jim is coming. Monahan, you are looking fantastic today. What is going on with you?
Let's go. I appreciate that a lot, man. Not too much. We're humming along and getting excited for the show.
I'm just going to give you a little bit of a heads up. That was me coming out positive because I'm going to come right back around with a negative sooner than later. But we'll let you get with your little moment here with your minute with Monahan. My God.
No problem. Let's dive in. Guys, fellas, you know what we absolutely suck at is connecting with our friends. I don't know about you, but me and I feel like a bunch of other guys that I know, we're terrible at picking up the phone and connecting. But there's a positive endorphins and you feel good after you connect with old friends, which is great for today's episode now that I even think about it. But today we're going to talk about 4 ways to stay connected with your old friends. Guys, these ways are this is nothing new. You're going to laugh at the end of them because it's all ways you connect, but this is more of a reminder to connect with your old friends, pick up the phone and talk to your boys, talk to your family, and really make that connection back together. So number 1 is pick up the phone. Like I said, call somebody. Every time I drive, I try and call somebody, whether it be my brother, my family, friends. Pick up the phone and call someone. Make that your daily habit. I guarantee you'll feel really good. Next, I personally hate it, but social media. Go ahead and connect with people on social media. I mean, there's a lot of terrible things about social media, but one of the positives is that we get to stay in touch with others' lives and get to see each other's families growing up and all these different, life achievements, even if we may not be in the same city or the same kind of season of life as each other. The other 2 is text someone, text or email. That's a super easy one. Hey, my big thing is if I ever think about somebody, I try and text them right away and say, hey, thinking about you, or hey, remember this funny situation. Just a quick one hit, and it feels good, and it allows people to let them know that you love and care about them, and I guarantee you'll feel good about yourself afterwards as well. And the last one is schedule a visit. Get out there, schedule a visit, find something you guys have in common. My brother and I like to golf, so we're actually going golfing in Arizona this weekend. So find time to visit with each other because that is huge and super important. That is my minute with Monahan.
Monahan, can you taste the irony? Right now, it was the word palatable of how ironic this segment is.
You can cut it with a knife.
And here's the reason why, people that are watching on Spotify, Amazon, Google, Apple, YouTube, and of course the NGBN.TV network. I always contact Monahan as I'm writing up the episode. Hey, what's going to be your minute with Monahan? And he sends over 4 ways to stay connected with friends. So I immediately fired back, hey man, did I really find out last episode that you moved to Minnesota? So Monahan, let's review these. First of all, that would have worked. Yeah, I got cell service. Social media, I'm all over it, daddy. Text or email, yeah, it works too. And then schedule a visit. I don't know, maybe we could do that. Maybe we could go back to the Milwaukee Harley Davidson Museum.
I'm getting torched.
Hashtag never forget. Monahan, you get what you deserve, daddy. Those were great minute with Monahan things, but you need to study them yourself, my man. Tell Casey I'm all over it now. All right. Do we have some email questions that someone sent into the Rubio at therubiomethod.com?
I gotta tighten it up, my baby. This is bad. Yes, we've got some questions. Suzanne from San Diego. The translation of San Diego has been lost over many years. But the question is, to be fair to you guys, last episode someone asked if your wives' pet peeves of you. So, what are your pet peeves of your wives? Um, the correct answer is none. My wife has no pet peeves. The real answer
Okay.
is, dude, I don't know, Rubio. This is my biggest pet peeve. Casey, I love you. You are the pride, the joy of my life. But when a car taps the brake lights 300 feet in front of us, and my wife freaks out and oh, did you see them? Oh my God, it's the biggest. It's like we're gonna crash that instant. What about you, Rubio?
Wait until Jet is learning to drive.
Is
My
it
advice to
bad?
you is just don't even have her in the car. Just eliminate that right now. I'm telling you right now. The list is long. Imagine Santa's list of the pet peeves that I have of my wife. but but no, she knows I love her to death. Two biggest ones. For some reason, she says I snore at night, which I've never heard myself snore, so it must be a lie. And she has this sort of jet engine app that she puts on her phone. And instead of having it just normal decibel levels, Jolie likes to put it up to where like the windows are vibrating. So that's number one. Number two, right about now, March, April, I don't know if it's a springtime allergy thing. She gets this cough where she, and it happens like once every 15, 20 minutes. And she refuses to go to the doctor. And it happens from April until September. It's clockwork. And I go, just go to the doctor, man. No, you don't need to keep going with Hall's mentholyptus lozenges for the next 7 months. Just go to the doctor. So those would be my only two pet peeves of my wife. Monahan, what's question number two?
Absolutely, those are good. Number two, this comes from Frankie in Billings, Montana. Frankie, how are you? Thanks for coming. And Frankie says, I am terrible with remembering names. So I was wondering if you have any tips on remembering people's names. Rubio, what you got?
I'm the absolute worst, but here's how I get away with it. I create nicknames for everybody. That's all I do is as soon as I figure out something that reminds me of them or they remind me of a certain situation, I make nicknames. I remember when I was teaching, I had twin girls and their last name was Hasurgian. Okay, Paige and Cheyenne. How the hell did I remember that?
Hey, look
Anyway,
at
I
you.
could not tell them apart, and they said they weren't identical. I think they were lying to me, but I didn't care, so I just named them the doctors. And so, because has surgeon, that just reminded me of that. And I never would call one of them. I would just say, doctors, come here, because I could never remember which one it was. So if whichever one I had a question with, they both came up. So I'm all about nicknames. Monahan, you?
Man, I wish this is gonna be tough because I wish I had some good way. The main thing that I try and do is just say their name repetitively when I first meet them, like, oh, Billy, 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 Billy. Or, but for the most part, everyone's daddy. What's up, daddy? How you doing, daddy? What's good, daddy? The daddy plays. It gets a pop out of the crowd, and everyone's happy and they feel like you know them well. When in reality, you can't remember their name, so you call them daddy.
That worked. That worked last week when you said, "Hey, Daddy, I moved to Oh, you didn't call me.
Oh, whoops, daddy. Yow.
What's the final email question, Monahan?
Last is from Tracy from Missouri. Shout out the Show Me State. Tracy asks, you both have kids and have seen what your wives have gone through. So I have to ask, if you were able to give birth, would you? And the answer is no, because I'm a great big giant baby. I could never handle that. My wife put on a superwoman cape when she did it, so I could not do it at all. Rubio, what about you?
Uh, Zero chance of that. And I've always said that if men had to give birth, there would be probably 4 kids on the planet, and the rest would be just dogs. If you've ever seen a woman give birth, number one, it's incredible. Number two, it's frightening. Number three, they are not normal human beings. They are crazy because you know how they always compare it to like, okay, it's like a guy's getting hit in the nuts. Monahan, if I kicked you in the nuts, at any point in your life, would you come back and say, you know what, I want to do that again? Okay, so
No
that's
chance.
number one. So that proves my theory of no, that's it. They're just crazy. It's crazy strong people. Monahan, have I ever told you the story, Christian? I know we're over time, but this is a good story about when Jolie gave birth.
No.
Okay, so all hell's breaking loose. We're in the labor room and all that good stuff, and I'm a little pixelated, I think, right now, but I still look good. Okay, and we're going, and the nurse is in there. If you've ever been to a labor room, the nurse does everything. I mean, they are wild at how much stuff they do, and they're doing it. Finally, it's code red time. They're dilated to whatever the hell it is, and so they call in the doctor. The doctor lady comes in. She puts on her catcher's mitt, does what she's got to do. Boom, Damon Dale rolls out, and I'm not joking. She's in there for, I would swear to God, at the most 5 minutes. And I looked at her and I looked at the nurse, and we bonded a little bit. And I go, "You did nothing." And she goes, "What?" And I go, "Seriously, you did nothing. Whatever you get paid for this, you should give it to her, the nurse." And the nurse was like, "Hell yeah." And I'm saying, "This what did I miss?" Because like you did nothing. And let's just say the nurse was very happy with me. The doctor was not very happy with me, but everything turned out well.
That's wild, man. I would agree. Yeah, when you sit there for like ever, our main person was supposed to come in there, comes in right at the end, like you said, throws the glove on, jet pops out. The one nurse gets rained on, and like that's it. Show's over. It's like
so. Bottom line, both of us said no to who was that? Tracy in Missouri. Christian, we got a great 2 more segments coming. We got a fabulous interview with the gorgeous Ryan Neufeld, and also the bottom line segment. Christian, I'm out.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices?
Like your text to emoji ratio?
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Craig, come on man, let's put a ride home.
Focus up. I'm talking to you, 9 lives in 34. Thanks for always keeping a smile on my face. Thanks to everyone else also that's watching on Spotify, Amazon, Google, YouTube, Apple, and of course, ngbn.tv. If you have any email questions that you'd like to ask myself, Neufeld, or Monahan, just email Rubio at therubiomethod.com. We have a fantastic, gorgeous guest. Welcome, Ryan Neufeld. Ryan is a former roommate of mine at UCLA. He obviously was a UCLA Bruin, as you can see behind. That should be more prominent, Neufeld. He's a father to Bryn and Will. He's, like I said, a UCLA Bruin. Also played with the Buffalo Bills and I think the Dallas Cowboys, right, Neufeld? Just nod your head. Yeah. And he's very, very involved in the Miracle League of Frisco, which we're going to talk a lot about. Neufeld, welcome, my man. I'm so happy to see you and have you on with us today.
Good to be here. Good to see you too, Rubio.
Don't hold your excitement back, Neufeld. I know you feel a lot for me right now.
You know me. You know me and my temperament.
I know. So the funny thing is, I'm obviously kind of an outgoing person, and Neufeld was my roommate for 2 years or 1 year. I'm not exactly sure, but it was a great time for him. And we were known. He's a very shy person, and he would always just be sitting there, humble, just doesn't say anything. Very stoic as always. The guys look like this since 3rd grade. And I would just sit next to him, put my hand on his thigh, and just lean over on him. And I usually probably with shorts on, no shirt, and just a bathrobe, and it would piss off Neufeld so much. Neufeld, did that really piss you off, or did you enjoy it? Be honest with me.
No, I wouldn't say I enjoyed it. No.
Neufeld, what is your favorite line from the movie Tombstone?
Oh man, there's so many, because I must have seen that movie 1,000 times, but there are so many lines. But probably like one of my favorites is, go ahead and skin that smoke wagon and see what happens.
Oh, I don't remember that line.
It's when, so Wyatt Earp gets into it with,
I know which guy you're talking about.
Yeah, Billy Bob Thornton's character.
Yeah. That my 2 favorite. Christian, you tell me if you agree. Law don't go around here, law dog. That little tiny guys. He gets it. Law don't go around here, law dog. And then of course everyone always says, "You tell him I'm coming, and hell's coming with me."
Oh yeah, that's a great one.
Woo!
Yes.
Neufeld, number 2. I got 2 more quick questions for you. Was playing in Buffalo as cold as I imagine it was?
Yes. There. Oh my goodness. There. I think it was in 2006 or 2005. I can't remember, but I mean, there's any year you could pick any year, and there's just many cold games. But there was one we were playing the Broncos, and we come out on the field, and after like team introductions, we run out on the field, and usually after we huddle on the 50-yard line at the beginning, some people kind of walk to the sidelines, some people will kind of sprint to the far end zone and just kind of hype up the crowd or whatever. So I was one of those guys. I'd sprint to the end zone. So I'm taking off. It's in the teens. The ground is just frozen. So I'm running, and cleats and ice don't really go together. So I tried to stop as I was getting to the wall where the fans are, and my feet just come right up from under me, and I slide right into the wall.
This is before the game.
Before the game.
Oh,
yes.
Jesus.
And then
I would have been there to pick you up and give you a hug.
Oh my goodness. And then
actually, I would not have been there. I would have been inside warm doing something.
And then later in the game, I was on punt return, and I got tripped up and went down. My knee hit the ground. The ground was frozen. My knee hit the ground, and I just popped my PCL.
Okay, I'm out. That's anything below like 65. I'm not doing it. Last question, Neufeld. Do you feel like your life has just gone downhill after we stopped being roommates in college?
Yes, no question.
I love how that was literally 0.2 second answer. And Christian, by the way, I'm your Huckleberry. That was a damn good one. I'm a little upset I didn't think of that. Neufeld, first question for you. We're in April. This episode is going to air, I think, May 3rd. Why is April a very important month to you and your family? So
April is Autism Awareness Month. And my son, his name is Will. He's 18 years old, and he is on the spectrum. So it is a very, very important month for us. And just, we deal with it obviously every day, but just kind of focus on the month for kind of spread awareness. Okay, so spread awareness to me. What do I need to know? What do I need to know about Will and other people that are on the spectrum? So you can, just looking at Will, you wouldn't, think that there might be an issue. But once you try to have a conversation with him, you could tell right away that, he has some delays and can't really have that back and forth conversation. And my biggest thing I try to tell people is that really look for early signs. If you feel like in their development early on that there's some delays, get your kid evaluated right away. It's a big thing because early intervention is key. We got Will into services pretty early. He was about, I think, a year and a half. He was already doing some speech therapy, occupational therapy, physical therapy. Just so early intervention is key for our kiddos. And they're just, they're just like anyone else. They, want to be included. They want to be involved. They want friends and stuff like that. So, be patient with them and realize they're not going to always do what you might ask them to do or stuff like that. So, and just there's kind of different ways you got to kind of figure out different ways to connect with these individuals. Because, a lot of times just talking normally with someone, you kind of get those social cues off people. And when you get those social cues, you kind of know how to respond and react to people, whereas they really don't know social cues and how to respond to certain things. So just kind of figuring out different ways to connect with them and being open-minded and just patient with them.
Okay, so now you talked about awareness as a parent. What about awareness for someone like me? So say I go to you live in the Dallas area. I go out there, I'm coming in, I'm loud and boisterous. What would be my awareness to dealing with Will? Like what would work or what wouldn't work for people that don't know?
Because it's autism is such a spectrum. It ranges from one child to another. Will is he's he has his routine,
Mhm.
but for I guess for someone that he's pretty good at I guess meeting new people and being around people.
And he would
Um,
love me.
and he he would he'd think you were funny.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, but I mean, with Will, it wouldn't be really an issue for someone like if you came up, loud and
Okay.
boisterous. Yeah, it just depends, and it just depends on the individual, really.
Okay.
Yeah,
So
just
bottom line, I would have no problem. A lesser person might have an issue, but you would have to deal with that. But with me, it's smooth sailing. Will and I are homies. We've
yeah.
got that.
He's
You're
he's he's
very
pretty flexible and he's good. He's good around people. If he's if I'm with them or people that he's around people he knows, he can be pretty relaxed. Yeah.
okay. You're very involved in the Miracle League of Frisco. Tell me what that is and how you got involved in it.
So, Frisco Miracle League is an organization that provides sports for special needs kids. We do uh, baseball, basketball, soccer, bowling, football. Those are the five main that are on the top of my head right now. And we got involved when I finished in Buffalo. We moved here. It was 2005, and I think it was like 2000. No, I'm sorry, 2007. I was done in Buffalo when we moved back in summer of 2008 is when we moved back here, and we were just looking for something to get Will involved in, and we found Frisco Miracle League, and they were only doing baseball at the time, so we got him involved in baseball, and we started out in the buddy division. So each child has a buddy with them, helping them throughout the game, and that's how we started in 2008, and then from then just kept growing, adding more sports, and now his four main sports he does baseball, football, bowling, and soccer. Yeah.
Is this year round? Is it like a traveling tournament or what's happening here?
So each sport has 2 seasons, which last 6 weeks. Each season is
Oh,
6 weeks, and there's two seasons a year. So he's pretty much year round doing involved in a sport. Football was supposed to start this last Sunday, but we had some rain,
is he the
and
long snapper?
we. I'm sorry, Rubio, we don't have special teams on.
Christian, cut the interview. We're done.
We have no long. uh, so football actually starts. Will start this coming Sunday. Yeah.
Okay. That's gonna be pretty hard though, because I mean, there's a lot. I mean, is it like a full game? Because there's a lot of rules and stuff.
It's very basic. It's so obviously flag. We're not putting pads or not, tackling. So it's flag, and we have
Will's a big
three.
kid though.
How was that?
Will's a big kid. He can handle it.
Yeah, well, he could, yeah, but
Yeah.
I
Okay.
don't think he'd want to. So we have three divisions. We have the buddy division. So I have four teams in the buddy division, and they have buddies out there. So it's like 8-minute quarters,
Okay.
and it's really the coach is the full time quarterback, and he'll just take turns giving the ball to each kid.
Okay.
And so he'll either hand the ball to the kid or he'll pass it to him. Some kids can catch. If not, he'll pass it to the buddy, and the buddy will hand it to the kid, and the kid will run or whatever. And so it's continuous until they score. We don't have like four downs or whatever. Just keep playing until they score. Then we flip it. Then the other team gets it. And so it's just kind of real basic that way. Then we have an intermediate division, which the kids they have an understanding of the game, but they don't need buddies. So they have challenges. They have an understanding. The coaches take a little more time with them, Um, and then those are like kind of your regular flag football rules. They
Okay.
have a certain amount of downs to get to midfield, and
I
then
gotcha.
a certain amount of downs to make a touchdown. And then it's turnover on downs if they don't make it. And
Hold on.
then
Why do I just had a flashback. Haven't I seen you with pictures of Garth Brooks regarding this?
I don't know. I don't think it was regarding this, but we were involved in the Garth Brooks Teammates for Kids Foundation.
Tell me about that.
Yeah. So we started. I got involved with that when I was in Buffalo. My first year there, um, uh, Garth would have representatives go to each team and host a dinner, tell us about the foundation, and then we can join. We could do like a yearly donation, or a lot of times they would do all sports. So you can donate. I'll donate so much for every catch I get, or donate so much for a touchdown, or donate so much for a tackle. One of the hockey players they had would donate so much for every fight he got in during the hockey game. So
Fantastic. Such a hockey move.
it's kind of like whatever you want to do. So it's all, and then so once you're involved in the foundation, it's like their slogan is like once a teammate, always a teammate. So he used to do concerts every year for anyone involved with Teammates for Kids. But now when he does concerts like around the country, we have access to tickets, and so usually I go whenever he comes to Dallas. I'll go to one of his concerts. But
I have a theory that Garth Brooks, I've seen him like 5 or 6 times in concert, and he's just not even a human. I have a theory that he either is on some experimental drugs that no one knows about, or he's an alien, because the guy performs 3.5-hour shows every night, sometimes twice a day.
right.
And he's got like a dad bod. Like he's not in super great shape. And the dude just crushes it for like 7 hours a day.
Yeah.
So he's either an alien or he's on some super hyped up drugs that no one knows about. That's my theory, and I'm sticking to it. Neufeld, you played together at UCLA. You were obviously phenomenal. Your long snapper then at that time was great as well.
Because you came up to me like it was my junior year. You're a senior, and you're like, Neufeld, you're snapping next year. Come with me.
Well, that's because the coaches came up to me like, you got to teach Neufeld how to snap, because it's gonna help him in the long run. Plus, we need a backup slash he's gonna do it.
Yeah.
So Neufeld, tell me about your journey to the NFL. Because did you go straight from college to the NFL?
I did. So I got picked up by the Cowboys after the draft. That was in 1999. So I went free agent. And if you're a free agent, you're really not supposed to make the team. So they look at you as already being cut, and you have to work your way up. So that's like,
and you were a tight end.
Tight end, mainly special teams, and fullback. They actually
pure athlete.
They actually moved me to fullback my rookie year, and so I went free agent. Was on practice squad the first 6 games, then activated the last 10 games, and that was 99. And then in the offseason 2000, I was working out at home, and the coach called me, and they were like, "We're going to send you to NFL Europe." And so I'm like, oh, at first I didn't want to, but what are you going to tell the coach? You say, okay, coach, looking forward to the opportunity, so I went to NFL Europe, and that was in 2000, and had a great time. Ended up winning the championship there.
Where?
It was Dusseldorf, for the Rhine Fire.
Is that Germany?
Yes, Germany.
How was their food?
Yeah.
I don't want to talk about it. I know we could go for hours talking about football. You had some, I think it basically ended your career, some concussion issues. Okay.
Yeah, but I would say that ended my career, though. I mean, I think everyone had concussions, but
yeah, back then. Was there any point where you were like, my head just doesn't feel right, or was it like doctors telling you?
No, not really. After I don't think I really didn't start having issues till kind of like maybe 5, 6, 7 years after.
Oh, that's not
Yeah,
that bad.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
What was
But
the
I mean,
best part about playing?
I had several concussions, but you know, you kind of like, you know, you take a few days or whatever, and sometimes you just kind of bounce right back, and you're
Okay,
in the
I got you. I
game.
got you.
You're in the game next couple plays. Sometimes it'll take a few days or whatever.
Okay. But you're functioning now, and that's great. So recently, within the past, I think 2 years, you've gone through kind of a hellish situation for a middle-aged dude. And so this show's about middle-aged men and all that stuff. You've gone through a divorce. We've talked about it before. And I remember right after it happened, I kind of contacted you. How's it going? And then after about a year, I think it was, I texted you or called you and I said, all right, what stage are you at? Because I always said when you're going through divorce, because I went through divorce, hundreds of other people, thousands of other people. I always said there's the whoa segment where you're like, whoa, okay. Then there's the seriously. Then there's the sad. Then there's the you get kind of pissed, angry, and then you come back to whoa, I can't believe it. Then you go to damn it. Then you go back to whoa, and then you get to pick yourself up. Are you at? My theory is that you're at the pick yourself up stage. Would that be correct?
Yes, that is correct.
So what advice would you give to other guys that are going through either the whoa, seriously sad, angry, whoa, damn it, whoa, or pick yourself up stage?
Oh man, it's just I think whenever you go through a you know, kind of a life altering situation like that, or I guess any type of you know, crisis in your life, I think you got to give yourself some time to process, and, and not but don't, you know, not too much time. You know, give yourself some time to process. But then there comes a point in time where you just got to like just get moving. You know,
Yeah.
you can't don't sit and just wallow in despair and not do anything. At some point, you got to kind of focus. I love when you start out your show with focus, because you know you got to focus on what you want, what you know, where you want to be, visualize where you want to be, you know, and you know, next month, next year, whatever, and take steps. You know, take steps to get to that point, and just, you know, just don't sit still, and then don't isolate yourself. You know,
Yeah.
surround yourself with friends or you know, loved ones, people that are there to kind of help you and listen and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I think that's the big key is at some point, yeah, you can go through the whoa, seriously sad, angry, whoa, damn it, whoa. But eventually you have to get through the stage and get up and just say, okay, man, I'm not the first one that's gone through this. I'm not going to be the last one. Let's get our ass moving here, especially with someone as gorgeous as you. I mean, we really got to just keep it moving. Neufeld, where can people find out more about you if they want to connect with you and the Frisco Miracle League?
The Frisco Miracle League website is friscomiracleleague.org.
Okay.
And me, I'm on Instagram, Ryan Neufeld 88, and I'm on Twitter. I don't really use Twitter that much. I'm more so on Instagram. But so yeah.
Neufeld, this was fantastic. Christian just told me we went 5 minutes over, and I could.
Oh, we did. I have so much more to talk about.
I know we're gonna have to get you back on another episode. Now that I finally got you loosened up, Daddy. No, you did great, man. This is exactly. It was great to hear from you, and obviously look at you. And I know you feel the same exact way looking back at me. Give your family a big hug for me. Tell Will we're homies. And I will talk to you soon, my man. Christian, I'm out.
What do you think you're doing, Kevin?
Was just gonna drive home.
There are several warning signs present that you shouldn't be driving.
Like hearing voices.
Like your text to emoji ratio.
Oh man, the selfies.
Selfie nailed it.
We all have warning signs that let us know that we're probably not okay to drive. Mine is pretending to be your subconscious.
Greg, come on, man, let's put a ride home.
Focus up. I'm talking to you, Golub. Keep up the great work traveling around the country telling your fantastic story. And thank you to everyone who's watching on Apple, Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, Google, and of course, gbn.tv. We are here for the last segment, which is the bottom line. This is all the stuff you should have learned without even realizing you've learned it. Number one, women are super tough and super crazy. You talk to a woman today, talk to your mom, your wife, any say, I love you. I can't believe you did that for me. You are an amazing human being. Number one, women are super tough and super crazy because they keep having kids and they're just insane. Number two, take some time to stay connected with those near and far, Monahan. No, just like when Monahan was talking about with his minute with Monahan, take some time. What did he say? Phone, text, call, set up some visits, do what you got to do. Sometimes just reaching out to someone very, very quickly can really lift up their day. And number three, 99% of the time, you won't be the first to do it and you won't be the last. So keep your chin up. That's like when we're talking about Neufeld and going through his divorce. You got to go through those stages of grief and all, and sorrow and sadness and depression, but don't wallow. That is where a lot of people have problems, where they start to wallow in their own self-pity. You cannot allow yourself to do that. And like Neufeld says, you got to get up. You got to go find some people that love you, like you, want to hang out with you, and just start taking some steps forward. Christian, that was a phenomenal episode. I'm very happy. Make sure if you have any questions, you can email Rubio at therubiomethod.com. That's a wrap on episode 31. Christian, I'm out.